The dumbest decisions that cost people everything. Story 1. Dude speedran his entire future like it was a damn video game tutorial he forgot to read. So we're outside this grimy gas station at, 1:30 a.m., everybody tired, everybody broke, vibes already hanging on by duct tape. Cop rolls up, routine stuff, nothing dramatic, just flashlight, questions, paperwork. The usual please let me go home energy. And this genius, oh lord, decides this is his moment. Reaches into his hoodie like he's about to pull out wisdom or a wallet. Nope. Knife. Full, shiny, gas station, fluorescent lighting. Knife. I literally felt my soul leave my body like, nope, I'm not staying for this stupidity. Cop goes from chill to federal level serious in half a second. Hands up, yelling. Radio crackling. Whole scene turned into a documentary nobody asked to star in. And I'm standing there thinking, wow, not a bank robbery, not drugs, not some master criminal plan. Just one dumb, spicy decision and bam, life on hard mode forever. Fastest career change I ever witnessed. Straight to inmate. Story 2. Man threw away a 15-year badge for $300. $300. I've seen people risk it all for love, drugs, gambling, heck, even crypto. But this? Pocket change felony? That's a clearance rack life decision. So my former buddy, state trooper, veteran, the whole crisp uniform, shiny boots, respect the badge energy, pulls this woman over on the interstate. Normal speeding stop. Should have been a warning, maybe a ticket. Everybody goes home, eats dinner, complains about traffic, easy. Instead, this dude invents a fake extra fee. Yeah, like some roadside DLC purchase. Tells her she's got to pay now, follows her to an ATM, watches her pull out $300 like it's a damn pizza delivery. And the wild part? He wasn't broke. Not even close. Man was bragging about overtime, talking big numbers, $80,000, $90,000 back in 2001. That was good money. Mortgage paid, fridge full, life stable money. So I'm sitting there later thinking, bro, you had a pension cooking, benefits, authority, respect, and you traded all of it for 3 crisp hundreds and a felony record. That's not corruption. That's a clearance sale collapse. Story 3. Man, this one hurt to watch in real time. Like seeing a slow-motion car crash, except the driver kept hitting the gas. Years ago, our kid's Taekwondo instructor had everything dialed in. I mean, the dude was living the suburban success starter pack. Biggest dojo in town. Over 100 students. Little uniforms everywhere. Parents lined up like it was a sneaker drop. Kids winning gold medals. Trophies stacked like Jenga blocks. Fiancé running the front desk. Smiling, organized, probably color-coding the calendars. Life was smooth, respectable, predictable. And then, one random night, this man decides to cruise over to the sketchy side of town. You know the area, the one where everybody pretends they're just passing through. He's sitting in his car, windows down, confidence up, thinking he's about to make a little extracurricular purchase. Just a quick side quest, right? No big deal. Nobody will know. Except, plot twist. It's an undercover cop. Oh, no. That slow, sinking feeling when you realize the universe just hit the self-destruct button on your whole life. Couple days later, before the news could break, he calls a parents' meeting. Whole room full of moms and dads sitting there, stiff as mannequins. And this man stands up, sweating through his polo, and says, I was just asking for directions. Pause. Long pause. Like the air itself went, sir, be serious right now. Because then he pled guilty. And that's when the dominoes started falling. First, a few parents quietly pulled their kids, then more. By week 2, Jim was basically an echo chamber. Mats empty, phones silent. Waiting list turned into a ghost list. Fiancé dipped, reputation nuked, business gone, all because he wanted a little thrill on a Tuesday night. Story 4. Man lost his whole life to a toe. Not a car crash, not cancer out of nowhere, not some wild accident, a toe. So the grocery store manager, solid dude, mid-50s, always walking fast like he personally owned every aisle, drops something heavy on his foot. Big toenail gets wrecked, nasty, purple, swollen, the kind of injury where everybody around you goes, yeah. You should probably see a doctor, but nah. He hits him with the classic line, I'm fine. You know that tone. That stubborn dad-level confidence that's basically duct tape over a disaster. Weeks go by. Toe gets infected. Starts looking like something from a low-budget zombie movie. Smell probably doing push-ups in the room. Yeah, I said it. Still refuses to go. Keeps limping around the store like sheer willpower is a medical treatment. And then, bam, doctor finally enters the chat, takes one look and goes, "We're not saving that." Next thing you know, they're taking the leg below the knee. Long pause. You can almost hear the universe whisper, was avoiding one appointment really worth all that? Health tanks after that. Complications stack up like overdue bills. Less than 2 years later, he's gone. All because of one tiny injury and one massive dose of, "I'll deal with it later." Story 5. Man woke up one random Tuesday and chose ice cream crime. Not desperation, not survival, not some grand criminal mastermind arc. Dude just looked at a Baskin Robbins and said, "Yeah, today feels felony-ish." So this guy, calm, quiet, the type who'd help you move a couch and then apologize for scratching the wall, decides out of nowhere to rob an ice cream shop. Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors and apparently one terrible life decision. He gets caught almost immediately because, shockingly, ice cream stores are not exactly Fort Knox, but they do have cameras, employees, witnesses, reality. And instead of surrendering like a normal human who realizes the jig is up, this man goes full cartoon villain, climbs into the ceiling. I'm talking dusty tiles, insulation falling, Mission Impossible music playing in his head while everyone else is just standing there like, "Sir, this is a mall." Then the police dog finds him. Good dog, just doing its job. And this is where the story takes a hard, ugly turn. He panics, pulls a knife, and kills the dog. Long silence. The kind where everybody in the room just stares at the floor. Because now it's not a dumb robbery anymore. Now it's serious. Like, throw the book at you, serious. Judges do not play about hurting a K9. That's basically hurting an officer. Next thing you know, decades gone. 25 years, give or take. Life paused. Friends moved on, world changed, phones got smarter, internet got faster, ice cream probably got more expensive. Story 6. So picture it. Tiny rural town, blink and you miss it kind of place. 3 employers total and folks guard those jobs like they're winning lottery tickets because the next opportunity is a 30-minute drive, which is basically another planet if you can't drive. And this coworker, yeah, no license, no backup plan. This job was the lifeline. Kids wake up from nap, rubbing their eyes, snack time energy, goldfish crackers, little juice cups, the whole gentle chaos vibe. One toddler, 2 years old, doesn't want to eat or drink. Totally normal toddler behavior. Happens every single day in every daycare on Earth. But for some reason, coworker snaps. She grabs the little girl by the chin, hard, tilts her head back, and starts pouring water straight into her mouth like she's filling a gas tank. Fast. Messy. Water spilling down the kid's face while she's choking and coughing. And then, because apparently we're doubling down on bad decisions, she lets go and says, "Why can't you just eat, you brat?" Long pause. That silence where everyone in the room knows something just crossed a line you can't uncross. And here's the kicker. Camera in the room, mandated reporter on duty, 0 wiggle room, bam, job gone, immediately, no car, no other employers, no way to commute. Landlord eventually lists the place. And the real permanent damage? She can never work with kids or vulnerable people again, ever. That door slammed shut so hard it probably echoed. All because of one flash of anger that lasted, 5 seconds? Story 7. This one hurts in a quiet, stupid, avoidable way. Like watching somebody trip over a curb and somehow fall straight into a grave. Yeah, that kind of escalation. So I met this dude one summer. Regular IT guy. Not flashy, not reckless. Owned his own house at 30, bills paid, life stable. The kind of guy your parents point at and go, "See? That's what responsible looks like." Weekend beers, a little weed here and there, nothing wild. Just normal adult decompression. Then, bam, DUI. Not great, but still fixable. Court slaps him with the usual package. Ankle monitor, random drug tests, whole probation starter kit. Basically the universe saying, "Hey man, slow down, get your act together." And here's where the logic train derails so hard it leaves the tracks, catches fire, and rolls into a river. He quits alcohol and weed. Good. But then decides to switch to cocaine and heroin because technically they clear the system faster before tests. Yeah, let that marinate. So instead of dialing life back, he upgrades the danger level, goes from casual substances to the heavyweight division, playing chemistry roulette just to pass a P-test. And addiction doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door in. Summer rolls by, friends start noticing he looks thinner, jittery, tired, work slipping, house getting messy. That slow unraveling nobody wants to confront because it feels too dramatic to say out loud. Then autumn hits. He's dead. Not from some long, tragic decline, not from decades of chaos, just a handful of months between doing great and gone. A straight line sprint from stability to obituary. Story 8. Man had the whole runway clear. Career, respect, steady paycheck, the uniform, the pride. All systems green. Navy aviation electronics technician. The kind of guy commanders trust. The kind of coworker you want on your shift because he actually knows his stuff. Hard charger. Reliable. Future-looking bright. Then he starts dating a stripper. And listen, no judgment there. Plenty of folks date dancers and live perfectly normal lives. That alone ain't the problem. But somewhere in that relationship, he meets Crack. And Crack, man. Crack does not negotiate. It doesn't ask politely. It moves in, rearranges the furniture, and starts selling your future on Facebook Marketplace. Now here's the part that makes everybody in the room go, oh no. Navy drug test cut off for cocaine, 150 nanograms per milliliter. That's the line. Cross that, and your career starts packing its bags. His result? 30,000. Not barely over. Not maybe secondhand smoke. Not, I made a mistake last weekend. 30,000. That number is so high, it basically screams, yeah, I lit up on the drive to work and still smell like it. And apparently, that's exactly what happened. Dude smoked on the way to base, pulled into the parking lot with his career still warm in the ashtray, because in the military, there's no HR meeting, no second chance seminar, no let's circle back next quarter. You pop hot like that, especially at 30,000, and the system doesn't argue. It just closes the file. Career gone, benefits gone, pension gone, identity gone, all in one morning commute. That's the brutal lesson right there. You can be talented, disciplined, respected, but addiction doesn't care about your resume. It'll torch the whole thing before you even finish your coffee. Story 9. So my friend's wife, yeah, we'll stick with Methany, because honestly, the nickname wrote itself, decides to spend her free time running with a crew of meth heads, doing copper theft along houses near a river. Real backwoods heist energy. Not Ocean's 11, more like Ocean's 11 brain cells missing. Picture the setup. She and some guy breaking into homes, ripping out copper pipes, cutting them up like they're prepping scrap metal for a yard sale from hell. Meanwhile, the guy's pregnant wife is literally sitting in a canoe in the river acting as the lookout. They load the copper into the canoe and float downstream to the next target. I mean, logistically creative, morally bankrupt. But still, everybody's committing the same dumb crime together. Then, the greed kicks in. Methany decides pregnant canoe wife isn't pulling her weight. Maybe not moving fast enough, maybe not risking enough, who knows? But instead of arguing like normal criminals, she escalates straight to violence. She grabs the canoe and starts beating the pregnant woman with it. Yeah, let that sink in. Woman ends up in a coma. Baby doesn't survive. Suddenly, this isn't theft anymore. It's tragedy stacked on felony, stacked on permanent consequences. Police scoop everybody up. Charges pile higher than the copper they stole. Meth possession, burglary, assault, and extra years because a life was lost in the chaos. And then, because some people just can't stop digging, she keeps making bad decisions in jail too. So, the release date keeps sliding further and further away like a mirage, all over one weekend. That's the bitter punchline right there. They went out looking for scrap metal money and ended up trading years, maybe decades, of their lives instead. Real expensive copper. Story 10. 17, 1 week. That's the whole timeline. That's the entire tragic math right there. Kid finally gets his license. Freedom papers, basically. That first taste of independence where the world suddenly feels huge and fast and yours. You got the music blasting, windows down, friends hyping you up like you just unlocked a new level of life. And then speed. Not racing for money, not running from cops. Just that classic teenage confidence. I got this. The kind where the road looks empty, the car feels powerful, and consequences feel like something that happens to other people. One hard press on the gas, one bad curve, 1 second too late to correct. And that's it. No long downward spiral, No warning period. Just a life that barely started getting cut off before it even warmed up. Parents still learning to sleep again after years of raising a kid. Suddenly planning a funeral instead of a graduation party. Long, heavy silence. Because this one isn't about crime or stupidity or greed. It's about how thin the margin is when you're young and invincible and the world hasn't taught you fear yet. A week after getting his license. Man, that's not even enough time to finish the first tank of gas. Story 11. So picture this girl, bright, promising, the one teachers brag about. Goes off to college, family proud, parents posting photos like, look at our kid, she's gonna do big things. Future looked clean. Straight path, all the doors open. Then she meets a new boyfriend. And here's the thing. Sometimes life doesn't collapse because of one big mistake. Sometimes it's one person, one influence, one bad orbit you drift into without realizing the gravity is stronger than you are. He's using heroin. She tries it. Maybe once. Maybe out of curiosity. Maybe out of love. Maybe out of that quiet, dangerous thought. I can handle it. Next thing you know, classes start slipping. Attendance drops, money disappears faster than it comes in. They both drop out. Addiction moves in like a tenant that never pays rent and wrecks the place. And addiction is expensive, desperate expensive. So they try to rob a store for drug money. Not a master plan. Not a movie heist. Just two scared, hooked kids chasing the next fix. Police show up, charges stick. Now they're sitting in prison instead of sitting in lectures. And the real collateral damage? The parents. Because they did everything right, raised her well, supported her, loved her. And now they're visiting their daughter behind glass, replaying every memory, every decision, wondering where the road bent. That's the brutal truth about heroin, crack, opium. There's no fun phase that lasts, no safe dabble, no casual relationship. It grabs hold. And it keeps tightening until the life you planned turns into a story people tell with a sigh and a shake of the head. Yeah, nothing good there. Not even a little. Story 12. Man, this one feels like a time capsule from an era when fear was louder than facts. So picture the 80s, college campus, jury duty summons, fluorescent lights buzzing, everybody bored and flipping through magazines. You're sitting next to this acquaintance, just making small talk, normal day energy. Then they call the potential jurors to the back. And suddenly you realize, oh no, he's not there for jury duty. He's the defendant. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover it. That slow, sinking feeling in your stomach like, wait, what did this man do? And the story that comes out is just pure panic wrapped in bad decisions. He'd always been a straight arrow citizen, quiet, reliable, the kind of guy nobody ever suspected of anything wild. Then he starts wrestling with his sexuality, what the newspapers back then called homosexual impulses, like it was some kind of storm rolling in. This was peak AIDS fear era. People thought a diagnosis was basically a death sentence, and misinformation was everywhere. No Google, no Reddit, no hotlines on speed dial, just rumors, shame, and terror. So he convinces himself he might have HIV, and instead of going to a doctor, or even knowing where to go, his brain goes straight into survival panic mode. Bills, treatment, death, money, fast. So what does he do? He grabs a gun and robs a Pizza Hut. Not even cleverly. No mask, no disguise, and here's the kicker. He used to work at that exact Pizza Hut. Employees probably recognized him before he even finished the sentence. Long pause. That's not criminal mastermind behavior. That's fear hijacking the steering wheel and flooring the gas. And the saddest part? Back then, the stigma around HIV and being gay was so heavy, people would rather risk prison than risk being judged. There really weren't safe places to ask questions without shame hanging over your head like a storm cloud. Whole life derailed, not by evil intent, but by ignorance, panic, and a society that made people feel alone when they needed help the most. Different times, hard times, and a reminder of how dangerous fear can be when it's got nowhere healthy to go. Crazy how fast life can turn, right? That's why we share these stories. Not to judge, but to understand consequences before we face them ourselves. If you enjoyed this video, stick around for more real stories just like this. Until then, stay sharp, stay safe, and we'll catch you soon.